One-Up returns in a big way with the resumption of the 2025 postseason for the Superstar Series, and it all happens here at Kansas Speedway for 81 laps this afternoon. A beautiful 1.5-mile racetrack where passing is plentiful, the action is plentiful, and I would expect a lot of movement in the point standings for these drivers because with 2 races down in the playoffs and 8 races to go, there's still a lot of time to make moves happen, but for some drivers, it's now or never to get their season back on the right track. And alongside me in the booth to get this race underway for you this afternoon is Jacob Krega with us once again. Great to be back, great to be racing at Kansas. This is a great place for racing, and like I said, for some drivers, this is a critical turning point for their season.
Yeah, certainly. And of course, with the granted unintended break that we had, it does give a chance for these guys further back in the playoffs to, recharge, reset, and get their head back in the game and try to lock in and try to focus on getting themselves into a better position these last 8 races to have a shot at the championship. Of course, Miles Mashburn has been the story the last several weeks. Him just being unrelentingly consistent week in, week out. It's why he's led the points for a majority of the season so far. But last time out, we had a couple of guys take big hits and points. Jeffrey Finguy, 5 positions back, down to last in the playoffs. Patrick Smith lost 9 positions. So these guys have really got to take this opportunity to reset, get themselves back in this game, and be able to try and work the way forward. Of course, it also doesn't help that the opening 2 races of the playoffs has been won by a playoff spoiler. Just one guy, J.D. Martin, 66, who has been really surprising, especially after just missing out on the playoffs this season.
Yeah, if he were still in the championship hunt, he'd probably be leading it. But so is the nature of this style of racing. You just never know what happens. And at Daytona, it all went wrong for him, but it's gone right for him ever since. Quick look at the top of the standings overall. Miles Mashburn, like you said, carries a 16-point lead into this race, ahead of Dylan Young. But you're right, Jeffrey Finguy, 67 points out. The defending series champion's got a lot of work to do if he's going to be back in contention for the championship. Likewise, his teammate Patrick Smith fell 9 spots in the points after a big wreck at Michigan, down to 13th in the standings. But they've got as good a chance as any because we're still not out of the thick of things yet. These guys still have plenty of opportunities to strike back and in a big way.
Yeah, it's still early on. This is only the 3rd race of 10 in the playoffs right now. So we're going to be able to see plenty of opportunities for these guys to move up. Although, like I said, only 8 races. So those opportunities are going to be cut short from here on out. I have full confidence in that Finguy and Zayden Davidson and Patrick Smith can work their way up because they are the last 3 in the playoffs right now, as you guys see. But this problem is they just got to have a little bit more consistency, like Miles Mashburn has had, like Dylan Young has had to an extent, like Devin Fair, Henry Thomas even has had consistency here. It's just a matter of trying to get their head back in the game and get up, like I mentioned earlier.
And with that being said, we can now bring you the starting lineup for today's 81 laps of racing action. And Jeffrey Finguy's done everything he needs to do on qualifying day to get himself in the right position. He starts on pole, his 2nd of the season. He will lead the field to the green flag to start this playoff race at Kansas. But alongside him is a face we did not expect to see in this race. Emma Kruger was supposed to be driving this car, but after a hellacious hit at Michigan, she is sitting this race out. Questionable status for Texas and Talladega, but filling in is Aiden Clare, who subbed for another game-breaker racing driver earlier this season, and he's planted that number 70 on the outside of the front row. Wonder what he can do to Nitro National Series stand out from 2nd on the grid. Easily the best start of his career in Superstar competition.
Yeah, certainly, super sub for the win, right? But yeah, as you said, Finguy on pole, he's doing everything he can to get out with that last spot in the playoffs. Got Devin Fair, Henry Thomas, a couple good guys I mentioned when we were looking at the playoff graphic. They're also in a good position trying to make stuff up. Miles Mashburn down in 12th spot. Not the worst playoff driver, but yeah, Bit of a out of position start for Miles Mashburn, really down in 12th. Got Dylan Young in 16th, Zayden Davidson 17th. Got Ben McDonald and Patrick Smith, the worst two qualifiers of our playoff drivers, down in 23rd and 24th, row 12 on the grid. It's not where you want to be, especially when you're already down in the hole, like outside the top 5 in the playoffs. So they've got a lot of work to do if they want to cut their way back up towards the front of the field here by the end of this race.
So with that being said, we've got 42 drivers ready to take on the Kansas Speedway, and we're ready to bring you that action now. It's the 1UP Superstar Series at Kansas Speedway, playoff race number 3, and the green flag getting set to get this great race underway, so stay tuned for that. You're not going to want to miss a second of the action set to come. 1UP is back, and in a big way. It is Finguy and Aiden Clare on the front row, getting ready to take us to the green flag, which is now out in the air. We are racing at Kansas, and it's a pretty even launch for the first couple of rows, but I have a feeling that that inside line is going to be the almighty powerful line here in the opening stages. But look, Duke Anzac from third on the grid. He's shooting the gap on the bottom, trying to put Finguy up top early.
Yeah, and from the drop of the green, he was looking to the inside of Finguy all the way down into turn 1, but here comes the 16 of Henry Thomas. He's looking to the inside now of Anzac with a push from DeLello behind. And there you see Lane Sanders, third line on the bottom as well. Anzac's trying to fight back on the outside, though. He's not going to quite be able to draw along the side 16. Thomas leads the first lap of this race.
From 5th on the grid, Henry Thomas led lap number 1. Aiden Clare in his second ever Superstar start, falling back a little bit. He's glided a little ways outside the top 10. Still, if he can bring that car home in one piece, that's all the team wants from him at this point. But here's Duke Anzac back on the charge. His season has been a disaster. He's looking for a really good day today. He's pulled down to the inside of Henry Thomas. He's going to try and get the lead. Not going to get it this time. Thomas leads lap 2 as well.
Yeah, and Anzac appears being basically swallowed up by a whole bunch of playout drivers. Now he's able to clear the 16, and that allows Finguy, who didn't really fall back all that much, to now draw alongside Thomas to try and take second. Thomas cleared the 92, though, able to get down in front of him, crucially, heading into turn 3 here.
And that's none of them that have the fastest lap at the moment. At the moment, it's Lane Sanders in the 87 that has the fastest lap of the race. Of course, expect that to change a lot in the opening exchanges here at Kansas before starting to settle out a little bit. But for now, it's 3 cars pulling a bit of a gap. Duke Anzac, Henry Thomas, Jeffrey Finguy. We'll see if the 16 wants to try and make another move. He's settled back in line a little bit. I think he's realizing this is a really long race. Then he's just got to settle in, find the right moment to make the pass, but he's got to be careful because Lane Sanders and Devin Fair, he's not waiting any longer. They're coming up on him. He's taking the lead back into turn 1.
Yeah, and was really able to cut down to that inside lane or beneath Anzac coming out of the corner. Anzac, I think, got a little tight coming off the corner exit there on turn 4. That allowed Thomas to get alongside down the front straightaway, and now Anzac's just falling to the wayside here, getting freight trained by several drivers on the inside here as we come around to complete lap 5. 3 wide a little bit further back that we just saw, and here's Miles Mashburn side by side with Ryan Griffin heading down in turn 1 as we start lap 6.
Yeah, he's fallen a little ways back. He's down to 17th place at the start of the race. Not quite where he wants to be, but this is, like I said earlier, it's a very long race. He has 2 pit stops to make today. Plenty of time for him to settle in and ride. Just for now, just get his bearings, feel how the car is handling, and maybe make some good adjustments on the pit stops that'll help him up the order as he tries to fend off Stephen Gale now for a position, making our way further back up the field. It is Henry Thomas once again back in the lead of this race. He's dispatched Duke Anzac, as have the rest of the top 4. Anzac slides back to the 5th position. Christian Vargas hanging out in 6th. Stephen Hunter, a good run for the 31, up in 7th. DeLello, 8th. Ben McDonald's already gained several positions from 23rd to 9th in the opening few laps. And Stanley Andrews, for a great day for Crossroads Racing so far, rounds out the top 10.
Of course, right as you see that scoring update as they cross the line, go forth now in 10th. But yeah, speaking of Crossroads Racing, as we take a look at Stephen Hunter here, all 3 of their cars made the race today. So that's a very much needed momentum building that team needs, especially switching to Mercedes next year from the Chevrolet platform. Great run by Stephen Hunter here early on. Of course, being a former champion of the series and multi-time winner, of course, it helps with him being behind the wheel of that car. But Henry Thomas really pulled out a gap early on here, but now Finguy and Sanders have reeled him back in.
We've got a Chevy, a Ford, a Dodge, and a Toyota running line astern at the front. 1, 2, 3, 4 as the field barrels off into turn 3 to complete just the 9th lap of the race. We've already had a lot of great racing action to talk about, and we're not even 10 laps into this race. As Fair now takes a look on Lane Sanders for the 3rd position, nothing doing there. Finn Guy's just hugging the tire tracks of that 16, trying to find a way back past because Finn Guy needs all the points he can get in the position he's in right now.
Yeah, of course, with as early in the going as it is, running around isn't necessarily a bad idea, though. Of course, Lane Sanders not wanting to ride around himself. He took a look to that inside of the 992, almost made contact with Finn Guy going into turn 3. Finn Guy able to hold off Sanders because I think Sanders got a little loose mid-corner there. So they hold position, at least for another lap here, as they actually spread out because of that.
And they've pulled quite a bit of a gap as well back to 5th place, which has changed hands. Christian Vargas has passed Duke Anzac in the 83 to move up into the 5th position. But it's Henry Thomas that's led the majority of the race so far. He's led all but 2 laps today, and he has been riding a very, very long winless streak. You got to go all the way back to the 2020 season, the last time we saw Henry Thomas in victory lane at Pikes Peak all those years ago. And he's come close on a number of occasions this season, and today is as good an opportunity as any to put him back in victory lane for the first time in all that time.
Yeah, and what a momentous occasion it would be, especially considering here he is trying to fight for a championship. It's just a season after such a devastating loss last year in the Nitro National Series. So being able to snap a winless streak and put himself back in a good spot to try and fight for the championship here in Superstar this year, man, that would be awesome. As we see now, Lane Sanders dispatches Jeffrey Finn Guy. He's now right on the back bumper of that 16. Oh, I think Thomas might have made contact a little bit going into turn 3 there with the wall.
If there wasn't contact, it was awful close, and you're going to see that all day today. These guys get really close to that outside wall on the on the entrance of turn 3, but so far everybody's kept it pointed in the right direction. We're 14 laps in. Henry Thomas has led the majority of the day, and he's your leader right now.
Well, if there wasn't contact, as you said, it was really close. If there was, it hasn't really affected him as we take a look further back. Man, tough day for Patrick Smith. He hasn't made in fact, I think he's lost spots since
he has lost a lot of spots. He started in 24th, and now he is running down in 38th position right now. Very unfortunate for him. And not that far up the road is his teammate Dylan Young. He started in 16th position. He's also outside the top 30. So while Jeffrey Finn Guy's up there racing for the lead of this thing, his teammates are having by far a less than stellar day. And same I could argue could be said of the Revolution teammates of Davidson and Teskar as well.
Man. Well, as we see that now, Finn Guy actually, speaking of which, now taking second from Sanders, the push from the 51 of Devin Fair, although not too far behind. Christian Vargas now joins this. It's now 5-car pack that's the lead. So Vargas is broken away from the rest of the field and has caught these guys. As he now looks to the inside of Sanders, almost makes contact with the 87. They're able to keep it clean, though, as they continue to battle side by side for that 4th position.
And remember, Christian Vargas, despite being one of the all-time greats of this series, he's won 15 races in this series, and he's a 2-time champion. He's yet to go to victory lane this season. And that's been a major talking point at Revolution Racing. In fact, the only wins for Revolution Racing this season have come courtesy of this guy, Devin Fair, in the 51. So Vargas would love to get back to victory lane and end a winless streak dating back to the tail end of 2024. But he's got to pass a few more cars to get there, and they're all quite good.
Yeah, although from the looks of it, it looks like a lot of these guys have been reeling in these leaders as they've been squabbling here for basically second on through 4th here. As Devin Fair now clears Finn Guy for 2nd. Lane Sanders has been able to hold off Vargas for now for the 4th position. His leaders gotten a little bit spread out. Finn Guy actually losing a little bit of ground on Fair, as now Fair looks to the inside. Thomas able to cover him, but here comes Lane Sanders now for 3rd on Finn Guy as they head down turn 1.
Yeah, a lot of good racing in the early portion of this race. We still got a very big amount of this race still to go. Devin Fair, though, hounding the back bumper of Henry Thomas, trying to find a way back past. Remember, flashback to Montreal at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve of 2022 when Henry Thomas had dominated that race. He led all but the last 2 laps. Devin Fair led those final 2 laps to take the win from him that day. It was Fair's first career win on that occasion. As look at this, now Fair dives to the inside of Thomas. He's going to swoop past to take the lead, and he's going to bring Finn Guy with him.
Yeah, Finn Guy really gave Fair a bit of a arrow shove there going into turn 1 there. That allowed Bolson to get around both Sanders and Thomas. Because I think Sanders was able to get around Finn Guy there briefly. Now Lane able to get to the inside of the 16 down front straightaway here. I think Thomas's car isn't really as good in the dirty air. He really needs that clean air to really be able to have a strong car here. Is now even Vargas taking a look to the inside of the 16. Looks like Henry Thomas is going to lose 4 spots in the span of just 2 laps potentially.
And I do want to give a quick mention to this 70 car. I know Aiden Clare wasn't expecting to run this race. He was expecting to just do the Nitro race this weekend. But he has performed quite admirably so far this weekend. He qualified on the outside pole. He fell back a little bit at the start, but he's found a place to hang out in about 7th position, and he's been there pretty much the entire day. So great job for a guy making only his 2nd career start in the Superstar Series.
Yeah, fell outside the top 10 briefly, was able to work his way back into it, now running in 7th, just riding right behind Anzac and just ahead of the 12. Yeah, doing pretty admirably so far. As now we see here Finn Guy trying to get back to the lead here, or side by side with Devin Fair in turns 1 and 2. Devin Fair, though, with a strong run on that outside lane, he's able to hold off Finn Guy. Finn Guy falling back. Now here comes Lane Sanders trying to take a look at the inside, take advantage of Finn Guy not being able to get around Fair. Nothing comes of it thus far, but that doesn't mean this battle isn't over.
No, it absolutely doesn't, because this battle is, I expect, to continue to rage on for quite a while. These top 4 have been your top 4 for quite a while. Vargas has taken a peek, but these 4, I think, have been really fast all race long, and I would expect that to continue into the later stages of this race as well. But you just see Devin's able to get that little bit of a gap out on Finn Guy, but no one's really been able to pull away so far. We haven't really seen anyone get a super massive lead quite yet.
Yeah, well, even then, though, the pace that these guys are running is quite rapid. I mean, we are already well past the quarter-way mark of this race and whatnot. So, like, these guys are picking these laps up and then picking them down. As we see the 70 actually able to get another spot, getting around Anzac for the 6th spot here. And Finney Guy just continues to hound that 51, but each time he tries to, can't quite get around Devin Fair. Fair able to pull out a little bit of gap, but Finn Guy just keeps on reeling him back in as we see a little further back. Anzac now side by side with the 70 once again. But yeah, it's just these guys are seemingly so evenly matched at the moment with such strong cars that they really can't get around each other as well as probably others a little bit further back.
And keep in mind as well, I said we had 2 pit stops to make in this race. We're about to get one of them in about 5 to 8 laps time. So these guys have got to be thinking about what adjustments do we need to make. Do we need to handle better in traffic? Do we need more clean air? Do we need to work better on the long run? Do we need a short run car? What do we need? Because this race has all the makings of a long run day to me. So you might want to adjust for that, especially if you're someone like Henry Thomas, who was great in the early stages but has faded a little bit as the race progresses.
Yeah, but something crucially also, no mistakes getting in or off of pit road, and no mistakes by the crew as well. And you certainly don't want to incur the wrath of the officials by getting a speeding penalty on pit road either. So that's something else that these guys have got to watch out for as we approach these pit stops. As we see now Chase Chris running down Miles Mashburn here just outside the top 10. I believe that's for the 12th, maybe 13th spot.
12th place, it's the battle right now because Ryan Griffin's up in 11th. Mashburn holding down 12th at the moment, but which he's gotten back up to where he started, and this is honestly a decent showing for him when you consider Dylan Young and the struggles that he's had. But Chase Christ, I think Mashburn, once he saw that Christ was looking to take the spot, I don't think he wants to fight it. Not right now, because we still have over 50 laps to go in this race. There is no reason to be taking too many risks with a car that you know is just trying to run their own race.
Yeah, and even though he's outside the top 10, he's still running fairly consistently. as well. So even with him being outside the top 10, he's only just outside the top 10. So these guys aren't really going to gain as many points as they probably would have hoped with Miles Mashburn having started as far back as he has. As we see, ooh, 12 really pushing the 70 up the track.
Oh, we got
or
pit
maybe they're just trying to avoid people making pit stops.
Yeah, that's why. We got pit stops. Finn Guy into the pits. Vargas into the pits. Duke Ansack pulls in as well. A bunch of guys stay out around them. Bobo Jones pits. Aaron Hall. Cale Tescar Jr. They're all coming down pit road. Daniel Bouchard as well. I would expect a huge wave of cars to come down this time in response to that.
Yeah, because as we've seen multiple times so far this season, not just in Superstar, but in Nitro National, in the Turbo Truck Series, staying out longer does not constitute having a good finish, because that tire difference is just, it is astronomically detrimental to you if you don't pit right about when these guys do. You have to respond to the guys ahead of you pitting, or else you're just not going to be anywhere near them before the cycle ends.
Well, we have 4 cars who have decided to stay out an extra lap. Stephen Gale, Liam Nolan, Kev Shearer, and Sam Donotto. But look, Vargas actually got out ahead of Jeffrey Finguy. So that's an important position gained for the 54 car on his way out of the pits as the rest of the field makes their way down. And J.D. Martin's on his way out. Keon Daly's making his way out. Chase Christ and a few others. But Devin Fair hasn't moved. Devin Fair hasn't left his pit box yet. Something gone disastrously wrong for the race leader going into this cycle.
And that is not what you wanted to see. Something obviously missed with whatever happened to that 51 car. Oh, man. And I just said it right before the pit stop cycle happened, too. You have to get on and off. You have to execute perfectly. As we see now, Vargas side by side with Sanders, as Sanders is coming off of pit road here.
That's going to be the battle for the net lead.
That's going to be big.
Yeah, so Vargas is going to pick up the baton for Revolution Racing because Devin Fair, who is still stuck on pit road, I think what happened was he was trying to enter his box just as someone else was leaving. They made contact. That's a lot of damage on that 51 that they're going to have to buff out, and he's just losing time and losing laps at this point.
Yeah, and what I said it, you have to be careful on and off pit road. And clearly, we see evidence there. They weren't careful getting on and off pit road, and now it's cost them the race and potentially a shot at the championship here. I know it's only race 3 of the playoffs, but that is big, especially with the field so close as it is still in terms of the point standings. But Vargas now leads. Very excellent execution of his pit stop comparatively to the 51. And Sanders in second. That's about middle of the road, but look at that. Ben McDonald, 3rd right now on the running order. I think his team had a better execution of the pit stops than Vargas' team did.
Well, McDonald entered this cycle about 8th place, and he came out 3rd. So, yeah, this is a really good benefit for him. And he started this race down in 23rd place, like we said at the top of the show. So, McDonald having a really strong day today as things stand at the moment. And Devin Fair still stuck on pit road as the crew frantically working to get that car repaired as best they can. There he is. He's now gone at least 3 laps down.
He might be 4 or 5, maybe 6 even, by the time they're able to get that car off pit road, I would expect. But yeah, Ben McDonald really needs the points gain today. He entered this race 49 points back from Mashburn, 11th in the playoffs right now. So him running 3rd, right on the back bumper of Lane Sanders, potentially with a shot at winning this race. I know we have another pit stop, but to be in the position he is now after starting as far back as he did, phenomenal run by that organization. Venton Motorsports, really excellent execution today.
It's almost as though as Vargas picked up the baton for Revolution Racing, Ben McDonald has done the same for Venton Motorsport because Henry Thomas is now 3 and a bit seconds off the lead in 6th position. So it's like as one team on that organization falters, another one steps up, ready to take over in the event that, like we saw earlier, Thomas fell back a few seconds and Devin Fair is now at least 4 laps down.
Yeah, I think Lane Sanders caught I know I mentioned earlier with Henry Thomas, but I think Lane Sanders caught the wall on both turn 1 and turn 3 that last lap, as we see Ben McDonald now passing for the lead, and here comes Devin Fair off of pit road. He's going to go a 5th lap down now.
That might be 6,
devastating.
Actually. Oh, and Ryan Griffin, we didn't even notice that because we were talking about the Devin Fair saga. He's blown up. Ryan Griffin out of the race, and he was running in the top 10 prior to that. His engine let go while we were focused on the battle for the lead, and his day is over already as Devin Fair goes his 6th lap down.
Clearly, there wasn't something on the racetrack, otherwise we would have probably seen a caution for it. But man, okay, that is huge as well, because Ryan Griffin's trying to work his way to be at least best of the rest. Of course, JD Martin currently holds that distinction and with both of his wins.
He's also trying to fend off Logan Williams for the Rookie of the Year award as well.
Yeah, that is devastating. So 2 big, heavy-hitting losses for drivers in this race, and we're just past halfway.
Yep, and right now, Ben McDonald has scooted out to a nice lead from 23rd on the grid, it has to be said. Lane Sanders and Christian Vargas currently battling side by side for what will be 2nd place, and Vargas looks like he's able to hold off the 87 for the time being. But man, you said it, some heavy hitters have fallen by the wayside in the first half of this race, and we're still nowhere near done with this thing.
Yeah, like, I didn't even see any smoke anywhere on the racetrack from the O2, so the fact that they fell out with a header issue, like, man, that is surprising. As we take a look at the tail end of the back, man, Cody Goforth really fallen back. I think he's outside the top 30 at the moment, definitely outside the top 25.
Yeah, and Mashburn's hanging in there in the top 15, still an average day for the points leader. Aiden Clare's fallen back a little bit. DeLello's hanging on to the final spot in the top 10. But look, we got some new faces in the top 10. Bobo Jones, Aaron Hall, Bobo Jones started this race down in 15th, Aaron Hall down in 22nd. So they've both made their way into a decent running position as they run right now.
Yeah, and great runs for both of them, especially Bobo Jones really needs it after. You want to talk about Duke Anzak's season? Take a look at Bobo Jones' season. Like, he's well outside the top 30 in points.
Well, to be fair, at least Bobo Jones has 4 top 10s this season to hang his head on.
True, and he's at least on track to possibly get a 5th today if things, continue where they stand at the moment. But yeah, but just Ben McDonald continues to lead. Vargas continues to hold off Lane Sanders. I think that's slowing them up a little because they're now over half a second behind Ben McDonald. It's causing these guys, Finguy, Anzak, 16 of Thomas, to start reeling them back in a little bit.
And whatever issue was plaguing Devin Fair to put him 6 laps down, it seems to have corrected itself, or at least they managed to repair it, because he is now back running competitive speeds once again. But that has got to be devastating, though, because you're not going to make up 6 laps in a race like this.
Certainly not, unless you get like 6 cautions. But with the spread out of the field here, the chances of that are slim to none.
And keep in mind, other people might get into a free pass position before you even get those cautions.
I mean, we saw it when we were looking throughout the field there. Echo Evans Ross not too far ahead of the 12 of McDonald. So yeah, that'll certainly put a wrench into things as well. Vargas once again catching the wall just barely on entry of turn 3. He's been doing that a lot, I've noticed, over the last few laps.
Well, everyone's been doing that all day today, in fairness, but it doesn't seem to be impacting him that much, otherwise we'd probably be talking about it a lot more. As the field barrels off into turn 1, as it looks like we've had a crash, and we have had a crash, and it's Eric Monaco. That is going to put us under the caution. For the first time today, that's going to give Devin Fair 1 of his 6 laps back. But man, what a tough break for this 25 car, who was already at the back, and now his day's just gotten worse.
Do we call that a commentator curse?
Well, we didn't say the 25 was going to be the one that caused the caution, now did we? But it's still a tough break for Eric Monaco. He was doing the best he could. He started in 42nd and last in this race. He was just doing whatever he could to hang in there. But this is going to be a benefit for Devon Fair, and this is going to be really interesting because we are on the teetering edge of the window to make it to the end of the race from here. I would imagine everybody's going to come down pit road here to try and make it to the end, but this is going to be a really big gamble.
Yeah. I mean, you don't use as much fuel under caution, so yeah, this is going to be really close here. And with everybody bunched together now because of this, it's going to be really interesting to see what the battle off pit road is.
Yep, but here comes everybody down pit road to get 4 fresh tires, a full tank of fuel, hopefully enough to make it to the end of this race. We shall see. As Echo Evans-Ross, I believe she will take the wave around to get back on the lead lap because she actually pit before pit road was open. So she will start at the tail end of the field as a result. But everybody else making their way to pit road to receive the attention of their crews.
Yeah, I believe pit road opened just before Echo actually reached pit entry, so I think she'll be okay for that. But
regardless, she'll start at the tail end as Vargas wins the race off pit road ahead of Sanders and Stephen Gale, who's picked up the baton for Venta Motorsport this time. He leads the pits in 3rd place.
But Ben McDonald still comes out 4th, so still a strong position for him. I believe Finn Guy came out in 5th.
Yeah, we'll get you a replay as well as to what happened with Eric Monaco to put us under this first caution of the day. But, man, how things can quickly change here in a Superstar Series race at Kansas. So Monaco was running right at the tail end of the field, and he's got Jeff Bolton behind him. He sent it in way harder than he needed to. And I don't know if he was frustrated that the 25 wasn't letting him through in time, but that didn't really need to happen. I understand the desperation to try and avoid going a lap down, but at some point you've just got to realize that one car needs to get in front of the other.
I don't know. I don't think that was necessarily on Bolton. I think that was just Eric Monaco slid up for the corner more than Bolton was expecting, and Bolton just never let up off the throttle.
One more look at this. And, yeah. Well, I mean, jury's still out on this one. I don't know, though. I still don't think it needed to happen, regardless, but it's just...
Yeah, I agree on that.
It's a tough break for Eric Monaco. He was running tail end of the field anyway. He was on the verge of going a lap down, and he now is a lap down. But it's just a big shame for this 25 team because they really were hoping for something good to happen, and now it won't for them. I mean, who knows with the level of attrition we could get in this race, but it seems a long shot at this rate.
Yeah, and with Monaco now a lap down, that blocks Devon Fair from getting another lap down if we get another caution here within these last 30 laps.
But my main worry is, will these guys have enough fuel to make it to the end of this race? Of course, if we get another caution, say with about 15 laps to go, that'll toss it out the window. But if we get another one, say, immediately, will these guys stay out to try and conserve fuel under caution, or will they come in and top off?
Yeah, very interesting to see what these guys will be doing here. You know you know the crew chiefs are being paid the big bucks to make the calculations on fuel.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not one of them.
Yeah, same. That's why I prefer to be the one behind the wheel, so that way I could be told whether or not, hey, we have enough or not. But, yeah, it's going to be close. It's going to be interesting. And I don't know. I feel like they could make it. At least some of these guys can make it. But it just depends on how well these guys have developed the fuel economy of their engines.
It's also going to come down to what level of traffic you're in. Because if you're leading this race, you have no opportunity to save. You've got to go to try and defend your position. But if you're, say, 10th, 15th in that range, I don't know, you might be able to try and conserve lifting coast or into the corners, anything really, to try and make the fuel last. But we got the lights out on the safety car. We got half a lap now until the restart. Christian Vargas is your race leader, and he's led for the majority of the day so far.
Yeah, and he's now in that position of, hey, am I going to have to go full out here and risk running out of fuel and having to pit here? Or is he going to try and, strategically fall back behind somebody, maybe able to try and save some fuel for somebody else to run at that full pace? We'll have to find out here. He is on the outside. Only one car to his inside that's a lap down, so...
Yeah, but the question I have...
With damage.
Yeah, that's what that was going to be my question, is if the 25 will be able to maintain minimum speed. He should be able to at least keep up decently well, but probably not at full song. Pace car pulls off. We're getting ready to restart this race with 29 laps to go.
And the green flag is out. Vargas already clear of the 25 of Eric Monaco. Sanders clear. Stephen Gale clear as they enter turn 1. And everybody else getting stacked up behind the 25 now on the inside lane now. It's going to be close to if Eric Monaco can make minimum speed here. Is now Finn Guy. Bobo Jones gets there. Now here comes Stephen Gale looking to the inside of Sanders. That's going to open the door for Ben McDonald, maybe following through. That's going to really help out.
We got a crash out of the... Oh, we got a big one. Daniel Bouchard up on his side. We got Aiden Clare involved. Liam Nolan, Nick Ortiz, and Bouchard's tumbling down the front straightaway.
Oh, man. We're going to have to take a look at the replay to see how that happened. Oh, man. Stanley Andrews in the 1. Tough luck for them.
Again. For that.
Yeah.
Because Andrews blew an engine last time out at Michigan, and now he's going to face probably another DNF because of this accident. Look at the damage on the front of that one car. Yeah,
and that's going to... And Chase Christ, of course... playoff driver, that's going to really hurt him here.
Logan Williams in his battle with Ryan Griffin for Rookie of the Year as well.
Yeah, cautions breed cautions, I guess.
And the good news for Eric Monaco, at least, is that he wasn't involved in that accident, technically, so he'll be the free pass recipient when this is all said and done.
And the best news for Devin Fair, he also wasn't involved, so he'll be able to get into position to where he could regularly get the free pass if we continue getting these cautions.
So yeah, we got Liam Nolan pulling in, Stanley Andrews, Chase Christ, Logan Williams. They're all pulling down pit road. I think most of these guys will be able to continue on, but I think that damage is too severe on that one car. We'll have to wait for confirmation as he pulls into the box. Yeah, game over.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And Aiden Clare,
even when Crossroads wins, they lose.
And Aiden Clare, too, was having a really strong day today. Just got caught up in someone else's mess. So it looks like it all starts right here with Chase Christ. You think he comes up the track? Nolan was already there. Yeah, that was just two guys going for the same spot on the track. Oh, man, Aiden Clare just barely got involved. Ortiz gets a piece, and then Daniel Bouchard with a big slide. And then a tumble down the front stretch and comes to a rest right on the white line. I think Bouchard and Andrews definitely got the biggest hits in that one.
Yeah, it just looks like Bouchard the momentum carried him down as he was sliding. That just caused him to tumble. Big hit for him. Glad to see that he appears that he might be all right, though.
So we're looking at this now with Daniel Bouchard. He was way up at the top of the racetrack. I don't think there was anywhere he really could have gone. You see the wreck starting to unfold ahead of him. Tries to pull to the outside, but Nolan just came up the track at the wrong time, and Williams tips him up onto his side. He was sliding for a long time there, so testament to the safety of these race cars. It's ever evolving, and it will continue to evolve with the new car for 2026. But thank goodness Daniel Bouchard walked away from that. So we're under caution for the second time this afternoon. Eric Monaco, you see flashing past. He gets the free pass. He'll be back on the lead lap. 2 retirements from this accident. Daniel Bouchard likely and Stanley Andrews confirmed. But this should at least help the guys who, I think pretty much everybody other than the cars with damage stayed out under this caution. They're hoping that these caution laps will be enough to get them across the finish line with enough fuel in the tank.
Yeah, I'm been trying to calculate the amount of fuel here. Trying to put myself in the role of crew chief. I think it is a 2.3 to 1 ratio in terms of how much fuel is burned under caution compared to the race. You burn 2.3 times as much fuel as you do racing compared to under caution. That calculation could be wildly incorrect. We'll have to find out here. So I think these guys might be able to make it to the end now with this caution, but that will remain to be seen here. So we'll have just under 24 laps to go, I believe.
And that's if the lights go out on the pace car this time. And I do want to make note, we're looking at him right here. J.D. Martin started this race down in 29th, and he is looking to open the playoffs with his third consecutive win, a feat that has not been accomplished by anybody in 4 years. And he's in a really good position. He's qualified poorly, but he's up in the top 10 now, and with a few good runs for the rest of this race, he could get there.
Yeah, I'm looking back at the qualifying stat, he started 23rd last time out in Michigan and won that race. And then at the race before that at Chicagoland, he started all the way down in 20th. So I guess he's trying to figure out how far back he can qualify and still win this race, maybe. That remains to be seen, though. As we see Devin Fair now line up alongside Christian Vargas to take his spot at really the only car on the inside lane here. And yeah, Daniel Bouchard confirmed out of this race due to that wild tumble down the front straightaway. Oh, this is going to get good, isn't it?
That's why these people come to see the races whenever they come into Kansas City. And let's see what Devin Fair is able to do. He should be back up to full speed now. I wonder if he's going to be able to play a good backup role, a good wingman role for Christian Vargas to try to win this race, because their other two teammates are nowhere to be found. So Fair may have to do some of the heavy lifting to help hit this 54 in the victory lane. We'll find out as the pace car pulls off.
Yep, teammates on the front row. You got teammates in third and fourth. And you got Sanders and Finguy running basically by themselves here. Green flag in the air. Pretty even start. Vargas with just a little bit of an advantage here. To head down in turn one, Finguy immediately looks to the inside of Ben McDonald. Here comes now the 52 Stephen Gale looking to the inside of Sanders with Finguy following him. And crucially, Devin Fair still side by side with Vargas. And I think Stephen Gale tried to think to maybe take a 3 wide, thought better of it. They're still side by side at the front between the Revolution teammates.
Yeah, I don't think that's what Vargas was hoping for. I think that's what he was hoping for. He wanted Devin Fair to settle back in line quickly and not get overtaken by Jeffrey Finguy, but the 92 stuck his nose in anyway. Fair able to hold him off, and now this is the position that Christian Vargas really wanted. He wants Devin Fair to play a good wingman, defend like crazy, and help the 54 to its first win of the year.
I believe the 92 and the 51 actually made contact going into turn one there, and that slowed up Finguy just enough to allow the 51 to pull away on corner exit there. 3 wide, a little bit further back. That is Aaron Hall being swallowed up by the OA to DeLello, and I couldn't quite see the other car. I think that was Sanders.
Yeah, he's
stuck on the outside lane. It was.
Sanders has fallen like a rock ever since the restart. He restarted second, remember? And he has fallen well outside the top 10 now. You can see him still up there, falling further and further behind.
Yeah, he's all the way back with Mashburn, who hasn't been in the top 10 all race long.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think of how quickly the race can transform, but we're coming up on 20 laps to go now. He's got a lot of guys still in the hunt for victory, but if Devin Fair continues to play backup for Christian Vargas, it may be a foregone conclusion if they can make it to the end on fuel.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that caution we just had is going to allow them to do so, though. But Devin Fair right on the back bumper of his teammate. Of course, Devin Fair could also always just say, and screw you, and try and get one of his laps back on the off chance that we have another caution. But I don't know. Finguy's there. He's pretty strong. Oh my God, JD Martin's all the way up to fourth already after this restart. Ben McDonald's running in third.
Yeah, you just don't. Yeah, you don't.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, don't count out J.D. Martin or Ben McDonald from this race. They're running third and fourth, or Aaron Hall for that matter. Hall is the one driver in this top 10 who has never won a 1-Up Superstar Series race. And there he is in that '07. He's up into the 5th position. He started this race down in 22nd. Wouldn't he love to get his first career win on his way out the door at Game Breaker Racing?
Yeah, I mean, of course, you got Devin Fair leaving Revolution Racing. He would like to get another win before the season closes. Glenn Sanders now tries to start a recovery drive, trying to recover all that lost ground.
And speaking of recoveries, look at Cody Goforth making his way up the bottom, and he's being followed by Patrick Smith, who was running as low as 41st in this race. Now he's clawed his way back up to the top 20.
Yeah, I was about to say, Patrick Smith with the recovery drive as well. Great run for them here as of late. But man, what a topsy-turvy turn of events over the course of these last 8-9 laps.
Yeah, so far it's been crazy, but look at this. Devin Fair has made the move on Christian Vargas. He's passed his team owner. Now he's gotten one of his laps back. He's now up to 4 laps down. The problem now is that Christian Vargas has no one to defend him from Jeffrey Finguy, and Vargas wants to take the spot back from the 51.
Actually, I wonder if that was a strategic move possibly to maybe save a little bit of fuel, although with as aggressive Vargas got into the 51 there going in turn 1, I don't think that was intended. Now here comes Finguy right on the back bumper of the 54. Now he's going to try and look to the outside and try to make a move as Devin Fair continues to be ahead of these guys.
Yeah, this race is far from over. We've got Vargas, we got Finguy, McDonald, Martin, Hall. They're all still in the mix for this victory. And Devin Fair, while he is 4 laps down, soon to be 5 if the 54 passes him again, he could still play a factor in who wins this race or not.
Yeah, I mean, Vargas still looking to the inside there, trying to get past his teammate, but Finguy just trying to figure out what. Ooh, Finguy cut the wall a little bit there.
Yeah, and he went up the track.
It,
that'll give him a little bit of time. Vargas does clear the 51 again. Gives him a lot of breathing space, actually, in the battle for the lead. And Martin, here comes J.D. Martin, trying to win 3 races in a row with a feat that hasn't been seen since 2021.
Yeah, and crucially, that not only allowed J.D. Martin and Ben McDonald to catch, that allowed McDonald to even have a look to the inside of Finguy there.
It's not just them. Aaron Hall's caught up too.
Off for now. Yeah.
And look who's cropped. I hate to interrupt, but look who's popped himself up into the top 10 in 8th place. It happens to be our championship leader, Miles Mashburn. This is why I say you never count that 72 out of one of these races until the checkered flag flies, because he always seems to find his way to the front of these things. And I know 8th place is not what he was probably hoping for, but it's far better than where he was running the majority of the day.
Especially considering where some of the guys that are right behind him in points are running. You got Dylan Young, who is nowhere to be seen. You got Christian Vargas, who's currently leading this thing. Devin Fair, he's at the tail end of the field right now. Last of all cars still on track. 5 laps down, now that Vargas has gotten back around him. You got Henry Thomas, who's running only a couple spots ahead of him. You got Lane Sanders, several spots behind him. Like, Miles Mashburn is in a really good spot right now, aside from where Vargas is running right now.
Yeah, as they run right now, I think Mashburn would still keep the points lead, but it'd be very slim between himself and Vargas as we now come to 10 laps to go. Vargas only 10 laps away now from his first win in a very long while, and his first of the season to boot.
Oh, look at this. Aaron Hall up to 3rd now. He's gotten around both J.D. Martin and McDonald.
Yeah, this 07's on a mission. I think he could challenge these guys. If he can get past Finguy, he can really put some pain on the Revolution teammates, because the harder he makes these guys run, the more fuel they burn.
Yeah, and speaking of running these guys down hard, Finguy is caught to the back bumper of the 51. He's actually to the inside of Fair. That eliminates the protection that Vargas has. Finguy's now going to be going for this win with no obstacles ahead of him aside from Vargas.
Well, don't be too sure about that, because I mean, Devin Fair, he is falling a little bit back, but he could be saving his stuff for one big charge. But he might need to do it in a hurry because Finn Guy's underneath Vargas now for the lead. We're side by side with less than 10 to go, and these two, the two winningest drivers in One Up Superstar Series history, are battling it out once again for another win.
Yeah, two titans of the series battling it out. What more could you ask for? But yeah, Finn Guy fallen back since the start of this race. He's now back to the lead where he started.
Yeah, and believe it or not, this is the
race.
Yeah, this is the first lap he's led all afternoon. So, who says you can't take the lead back at Kansas?
Yeah, it's not going to be the most perfect race, but of course, you know what they say. Doesn't matter where you start or how you finish. It just matters where you finish. And Finn Guy definitely proving that right now, especially when he's in a must-needed position to be out front here in the lead. But of course, Vargas not done yet. 3 Toyotas versus 1 Ford on the inside lane, trying to get around Finn Guy for the lead.
Oh, and
once again here.
Hall went in the middle. That forced Finn Guy up to the top of the racetrack, and that allowed Vargas to sail back past. Coming to 5 laps to go this time. Devin Fair now going to try and reestablish his position ahead of the 92. If he can get back in front of the 92, I think that'll be Vargas's race to lose.
I don't know. Fair's still trying, though. Finn Guy's not giving up without a fight. 5 to go now. Here comes Aaron Hall now trying to catch these two. He's going to look to the inside of the 92 now here, going through 1 and 2. But Finn Guy, I think, has the better drive off the corner here. Fair clear by like 3 or 4 car lengths. JD Martin, McDonald side by side for 4th, just behind these guys.
It's going to be one of those classic finishes in One Up Superstar competition. What a way to return to action, isn't it? 4 laps to go now. The gap between Vargas and Finn Guy up to half a second now.
Yeah, but it's not over yet. Still got just over 3 laps of action left. Yeah, you got Devin Fair there, but man, it would be awesome to see any of these guys win, really, but for a variety of different reasons. But yeah, Vargas still leading. Oh, Logan Williams comes down pit road.
That's alarming for everybody up front, seeing a car at the back of the field needing to come to pit road. That could be problematic for these guys who are really hoping to make it to the end of this race. We'll see if anyone else comes down in the pits between now and the checkered flag, but that's got to raise a few alarm bells for sure.
Especially when they're coming to 2 to go this time by.
Oh, and there's Nolan coming down pit road. This could be problematic for the leaders. They've put a decent gap between themselves and the rest of the field, but as Williams exits the pits, can they make it?
Actually, I think they can. I think it's just because those guys are running by themselves. Vargas has run a few laps behind other people. I think that's allowed him to save just enough fuel here. I don't know if you see, though. JD Martin moves Aaron Hall up.
Oh, and they are coming! They can't make it! Their Evolution teammates cannot make it! Finn Guy surges past and he will take the white flag in the lead.
Oh, but can he make it the rest of the way? Aaron Hall stays out as well. And Miles Masfern up to 3rd.
This is going to be a big gamble for Jeffrey Finn Guy. He's got to hope he has enough fuel to make it to the end of this thing. Down the backstretch for the final time. If he can't make it, that opens the door for Hall to get his first career win. But coming through 3 and 4 for the final time. He's slowing a little bit, but I don't think it matters now. Out of 4 final time, Jeffrey Finn Guy, career win number 19 here at Kansas.
Man, Christian Vargas, another heartbreaking loss.
He'll come across the line in 22nd place, but you really got to feel. Martin also ran out at the last minute, as ending his bid for 3 in a row. You just got to feel for Christian Vargas. Led 30 laps in this race. Oh, and we got a big incident coming through 3 and 4 after the checkered flag flies. Oh, look out, we got a big shot.
Oh, heavy contact. Michael's involved. 77. Oh, Goforth also piles into the 77. Oh, look out.
Well, the fun never stops, even when the checkered flag comes out. But for Sam Donotto, Cody Goforth, and Joshua Michaels, it ends their day with a wrecked race car, despite them getting some pretty solid finishes, all things considered.
Man, we'll have to take a look and see what happened there, but Oh man, that was driver side impact too. That I don't like the looks of that.
They did climb out of their cars though. That's the good news. But we'll take a look anyway, see what happened after the checkered flag came out in this one. My goodness, what unfolded here. So Denotto's on his cooldown lap. Eric Monaco, he just came out of the pits, didn't he? And Denotto's trying to come into the pits as Monaco was leaving, and yeah, that could have gone a lot smoother. And then Michael's right here. Oh, man.
Oh, I still don't like the look of that, even knowing Denotto got out of that car all right.
And that Game Breaker Racing doesn't need any other drivers out for a while, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think that's just a similar situation to what happened like between Chase Christ and who was it? I think it was Logan Williams that brought out the second caution of the race. Just two cars not fitting into one space.
A tough break for sure, but we will see them all back at Texas Motor Speedway next week to continue the chase for the championship. But with that being said, from Jacob Crago and from myself as well, thanks for joining us for One Up's return to action, an epic race at Kansas Speedway. Miles Mashburn keeps his championship lead intact with another podium, and he will look forward to Texas, where he's had some great runs in the past. But until we see it end, we say so long from the Kansas Speedway. Congrats to Jeffrey Finguy on his record-extending 19th career win, but Christian Vargas, if you keep running like that, the win will come eventually.